And we're back. Thanks for joining us again on the Coruscant Knights podcast. We're happy to have you here. My name is Cooper, and alongside me, as always, is Mark
Hello there.
and Jack.
Hello.
We're very happy to have you here as we talk about The Empire Strikes Back today. Wow, am I excited
Oh,
for
I was
this?
so prepared just then to do a Yoda impression for my hello there, but I didn't know what line to say, so I just
Well,
went
you've
back
you've
with
got the
hello.
platform now if you want to do it.
I don't have anything to say, that's the issue. I don't know what
All
to
right.
say.
Okay, that's all good. Thank you for joining us again. This is episode 7 of the rewatch series. I can't believe we're almost at the end.
We're getting
Feels like
through
we
it
only
pretty
started
quick.
this yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels quick, hasn't it?
It's a shame it's going to be ending soon, but we're getting to the best stuff in the coming weeks.
Oh
So
man.
it's all right.
We're leaving the territory of good Star Wars movies soon.
No, well, we can get to that debate in the next couple of weeks. If you haven't already, go follow us on Instagram. We post updates on there about the podcast, some behind the scenes as well. TikTok as well. We put up some edits, which is cool. And if you don't follow us on Patreon, and thanks to our patrons who support us already, if you want to go follow us, link is in our Instagram bio, and you'll be able to access it from there. Before we even begin anything, I've got a question for you guys.
Ooh.
So, The Empire Strikes Back is regarded as one of the best sequel movies of all time. But I want to know, what are your other best sequel movies of all time?
Mark,
I'm
you got one?
curious to know.
I don't have one off the top of my head, but I am thinking.
I definitely have one.
Well, I mean, do you want me to list off some ones that might be able to
Oh,
get you any?
I I've
Nah,
got
yeah, go on.
some, but it's kind of like also I don't know if it counts, but yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to go then, Mark? What is
Yeah,
it?
I was just gonna say that the Lord of the Rings trilogy is
Yeah.
so good. Like all three of them are just such good movies. So
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah,
I would count them as sequels, yeah.
yeah. All
Um,
right, cool.
yeah, you could probably have a guess of where I'm going with this one.
I feel like I know, yeah.
It's been in the media quite recently for a particular reason.
Yep.
Um, but I want to do the old one, not the new one, but Spider-Man 2, the original
Oh,
Oh
one.
yeah,
'Cause that movie was so good. But
yeah.
also more recently, Across the Spider-Verse. You can't lie.
Damn.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I didn't think of that. Oh man, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Spider-Man
That was really good.
really good with those sequels. So
I
those are
thought you were leaning Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, true, and also you could say even Back to the Future.
I was thinking Back to the Future as well, yeah.
There's actually quite a few. Oh, Godfather.
Yeah,
I like the
yeah,
Godfather.
Godfather, Dark Knight for Batman,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
one Top Gun Maverick, that was pretty
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
There's heaps of sequels, but I gotta be honest, in my opinion, nothing tops Alvin and the Chipmunks the Squeakquel.
No, I'm refusing to praise that.
Hey, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it when I was like 11.
Toy
I don't
Story,
know. Hmm?
Toy Story 2.
Toy Story. Did I like Toy Story 2?
Last two was the complete opposite.
I, I, I know I didn't really like 3 that
Yeah.
much, but that's kind of controversial because I think everyone likes 3. Anyway, we're
Always
getting off the topic.
controversial on this podcast.
That's it.
Mm.
The controversial Coruscant Knights.
Mm.
Okay, let's get straight into it. Mark, do you want to
Hmm.
start off?
Yes, because as usual, mine are kind of broad, and then I'm sure the others will go more in depth. And let me begin by just saying how good of a movie it is overall. And I think it says a lot when Cooper rewatches it and says, that was way better than I remember it being.
Mm.
Yeah.
And but in terms of the actual movie, like I know it's basically the same I said last week. The characters, the story, cinematography is good. Like it was
Oh
released in
yeah.
1980, so it was made in the late 70s. So again, you got to cut them a bit of slack with the effects, but I think like for a movie of that age, it looks really good.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I think it was a massive improvement on A New Hope. Even just a lot of the flying scenes felt
yeah,
just so impressive.
that was
Mm.
really cool getting to see a lot more like flying and stuff in space.
Yeah.
And the absolute comedy legend of Yoda.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it
Uh,
was it was good, wasn't he?
I forgot how funny he was actually until I saw it again.
So random. I love it.
Yeah, it's just so funny.
Senile
That's
Yoda.
funny.
But also, actually, yeah, also seeing the Emperor for the first time,
Oh
it's
yeah.
actually kind of funny that we don't see him in the
Which
first one if you think about it.
which version of it? The weird one that they had initially? That was so bad.
That was so bad.
Yeah, that original one didn't look so good.
No, I
Nah.
think Ian McDermott's a lot better.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm. But
Hey,
yeah, that was pretty much it. Special effects, great. Writing, characters, yeah. Music. How could I forget the music?
good.
I made a mental note when I watched it. I need to mention the music.
Hmm.
I think it
This,
was the best
yeah,
soundtrack I've heard from
I
a Star Wars movie.
completely agree. I completely agree with that point, Mark.
John
What's
Williams
that?
again. I feel like he needs to be mentioned every episode. John Williams just always hits it out of the park with the
He
music.
nails it. He
Like,
nails it.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's a reason he's considered one of the best composers.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else or
Nothing that I can particularly think of.
that's all right.
But as always, I'll add on throughout.
Classic Mark.
Classic
Classic.
Mark, yeah. All
So
right, Jack.
I'll kick us off next. So since Mark basically went broad with everything, which I agree on every single aspect, this movie is so good. I love
Mhm.
how they introduced Boba Fett, but also I loved how he was meant to be like the stormtrooper design from way back. Like that was I can't believe. Imagine if all stormtroopers had a mantle like that. That's
That'd be
crazy.
awesome.
Like that's unreal. I love the bounty hunter, like even aspect of it with Bosk and stuff, and I love how Darth himself actually set others to get to find him and get him. You know what I mean? Like he's actually like just laid the work off kind of thing. You
Taking
would,
command, delegating.
yeah, the Sith Lord would rely on some bounty hunters to do his work for him, kind of thing.
Mm,
But I just want to mention, since I'm on it, Darth Vader. He is the most menacing in this film. They finally, no offense
that's
to,
true.
in the first one, he wasn't that scary. This one showed how much like stronger and more fierce he is.
I mean, look at him in your background. He's like ruling over everything and everyone. Everyone's looking at him like
And
all
speaking
scared.
of how menacing he was, actually, I think I was counting that he choked down
Yeah.
about three like admirals in the span of like half an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually mental. But may I also just add that even like I know they try to do this kind of artwork with like the newer ones and stuff, but seeing this in like a format like this just gives me so much nostalgia, you know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah.
gives you so much
Mm,
more like classic old Western kind of, Space Wars kind of esque. It's just so
yeah.
I love it. I just love that,
Yeah.
that style so much. But I also love the Luke's progression
Yeah.
from being a lot braver and almost too brave at times when he thought he could go to Cloud City and save his friends when everyone was warning him, yeah, look, you're not ready yet. And then just shows how desperate he was to save him. And then when he fought Vader, holy cow, that was something. And as we were saying before, I know this was filmed in like still the late 70s and stuff, but it just shows how much an extra increase of a bit of money does to it. Because
Mm,
this movie could easily be like 10 years after the first one, it looks that much better. Like how the difference
yeah,
Oh yeah.
in itself is a bit crazy in my opinion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's true. Yeah.
yeah. But then you've got probably this movie's probably got one of the most quotable and absolute because this movie, right, without the internet, if it had the internet like in that time period, it would have been spoiled and it would have
Yeah,
been a lot different. That's what I kind of
that's
wish.
true.
That's kind of why I somehow wish like you could just generally not post anything about a movie after you, but then yeah, but you can't really restrict that. But having that line of Luke, I am your father, I think a lot of people get confused though saying it's no, I am your father, but it's actually he says his name. So it's kind of I
Isn't
don't
it the
know.
other way around?
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's the
no.
other one. No, 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 no. You're
Online they say it's Luke. That's what I'm saying. I think
no.
we've got different releases. You guys can have a look in your own time, but there's a lot of what's the word? Butterfly effect? Where they think
Mandela effect or something.
yeah, where they what is it?
Yeah, I think it was.
The Mandela effect, yeah, where people thought they heard that thing instead.
Yeah.
But I'll bring it up while I'm talking. Yeah, but the thing is though, I just love how dramatic the scene is when Luke's like screaming in desperation and the music's going on in the background,
Yeah.
standing over them. It's just I can't believe it.
And also
Can
on
I?
the
Can I?
topic of music,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Cooper, if I may quickly say this, the absence of music is also at points
Yeah.
like I think it's the beginning of the fight with Luke and Vader. Cooper pointed that out to me actually. There's no music at that beginning.
No
And
music
it
during the whole fight.
is it the whole fight?
Yep.
Oh, okay. See, it adds a lot of tension, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the music in some ways can say what the outcome is, how it's gonna turn out. Like if it
Yeah.
becomes more heroic sounding halfway
Yeah.
through the fight, like, oh, he's got the upper hand. But when there's no music, you're just watching the fight as it is.
I generally agree with that. The only exception I have is that last fight in The Rise of Skywalker, where the music kind of doesn't turn, like it kind of sounds a bit triumphant, but then Rey stabs Kylo. So
I
that's
can't
kind
say
of
I
a
remember.
diversion.
I've
Yeah,
only seen it once.
that's all right.
I do
Also,
know.
just quickly, Jack, I'm so positive it's No, I'm Your
It is.
Father.
It is no.
Okay,
But,
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought so.
that's the thing. People talk about it so much that it confuses you because he has a
Yeah.
pause between where he says Luke or it's actually no.
Yeah.
He goes, "I am your father." So everyone just misquotes it because of how how many people have said the opposite
Mm,
ones and everything.
Yeah, the Mandela
But
effect.
anyway,
That's funny.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it makes it so many people thought it was that it almost became that kind of thing. You know what I mean? That just shows how much
mm,
impact on how often it's still quoted to this day. You know what I mean? Like it
yeah.
hasn't left. Like people quote the prequel trilogy, but that's just because it's what's it called, like meme.
Memes.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not really iconic in terms of groundbreaking storytelling and anything. You know what I mean? Like written
Yeah.
anything. But this movie just emphasizes everything good from the first one and excels in every way.
Mm.
Like anything you can say about the A New Hope is just better in this one. I'm sorry,
Oh
like
yeah.
can't say that like anything in the first one is as good as this one because this one's better in every storytelling, characters, dialogue, cinematography, plot, score. It's just all of it is so much better. And if anyone disagrees with that, then I am baffled. So that is
I,
my take.
I liked your thing about if the internet wasn't around back then, because I've never really thought about it
It would
before.
have ruined the
Like
movie.
how many memes, like it would be a meme gold mine, I reckon.
Oh, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
But it just would have
Yeah.
ruined that moment, like imagine us going in to watch that movie and just knowing that line. It's like, oh well, Darth.
Knowing yeah the
Yeah,
plot twist.
it's like that's
Mm,
like the plot twist that basically changes the entire saga
The
because
thing is, though, I noticed as I was rewatching it, is earlier in the film, Palpatine talks about how Anakin's son is, Skywalker and stuff. Do you
Mm,
think it's just that people don't believe him, and that's why the Darth Vader line is the twist? Because he actually mentions it earlier in the film.
I think it's it almost felt like they were planning for prequels at that point, didn't it? Did
well,
George know about this?
just in terms of the line itself, it was like I have no doubt this child or this boy is the offspring of Anakin
Yeah,
Skywalker. Like, why would he say that? Like, we haven't seen Anakin
That's what
before,
I'm saying. Yeah.
and it's
but
like,
we have heard of him
yeah.
in
So
A New Hope with
I just
Obi-Wan.
thought it was very alluding to the fact that he's Anakin.
But then
But
we
to
don't.
be fair, you don't really know that he's a human under there.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but doesn't Ben say it in A New Hope that it was Anakin?
no, he doesn't say Darth Anakin. He just goes,
No.
he was killed
Oh yeah, true.
by Darth. Your father was killed.
Yeah, you're
Mm,
right. I think it's just the fact that we knew he was Anakin. Yeah, that
I
makes
think
more
That's
so.
what I'm
sense.
saying.
At the time it came out, yeah, I can see now.
That line felt. But to be fair though, if you're a smart viewer watching that movie in the cinema and you heard that line and he was looking at Darth, then you would assume that that's Anakin, and you would then piece it together. But come on, let's be real. Like you probably wouldn't really think of that at the
I
time.
reckon that's why you have to watch the originals first,
Yeah,
Can
because
I?
otherwise that plot twist won't really be a plot
still is
twist.
though. Just the
Can,
emotion and acting in that scene is still top notch. Like you can't deny it.
can I make a comparison really quick?
Of
Go
course.
for it.
So now this was just my experience, and I don't know if it was you guys, but I found, and I can't believe I'm going back to this movie again, The Rise of Skywalker, the
Oh,
reveal
God.
that Rey was a Palpatine. I kind of, in my head, the way they, no, hang on, listen to me. The way they revealed it, they showed Rey with the Force lightning, and then her kind of getting angry, and then it was kind of revealed very slowly, like before actually saying you were a Palpatine. the way I think that compares is how the Emperor speaks to Vader about Anakin. It's not telling him explicitly, or not telling the audience explicitly until you obviously hear it officially. But I just feel like that buildup of information or uncertainty, and getting those sort of hints is similar in a sense. That was my experience, at least.
I think it kind of spoon-fed that twist though in the rise
It
because
did, but I'm not trying to say like they're the same,
better.
like they're on the equal
Yeah,
equal
yeah.
importance. I'm just saying that for me, when I was watching it, I didn't believe. I kind of had it in my head, but I didn't believe it until they said Ray was Palpatine in that
You know what I
movie.
think would have been better though?
What do
I
you
think
mean? Ray's a Skywalker,
Mm.
guys.
no,
Oh,
we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. Let's not go into that territory yet. But I think it would have been better if they left it at Emperor once again telling Kylo Ren. Um, I can't remember what the line was, but he goes, "There's something about the girl."
yeah, who is she?
Oh yeah,
And then
and he giggles,
she's not who you think she is. Who
and
is
then he
she?
laughs. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think if you left it at that, it's kind of similar to Darth, with the Emperor line about Anakin, because
I
then they
agree.
had if we got a force lightning and stuff. Like I know a few people who I watched it with who've never seen the movies and know nothing about it, and they go, she's probably going to be his offspring somehow. And
Hmm.
I was
Wonder.
like, well, pretty obvious, I guess, in a way then. But
I was just thinking actually how, and as much as I hate the whole concept of it and everything, but the Raylo thing, Kylo and Ray. But when I was thinking about it, I'm getting Dune vibes, like crossing the bloodlines of the important families,
Oh yeah, with the
the
Bene
Bene
Gesserit.
Gesserit. Yeah.
yeah, but that's actually done effectively.
I'm not saying it's anything
A
like Dune.
fan
I'm
theory,
just saying it's giving me those vibes.
Yeah.
for sure.
Do you have anything else to add, Jack, or
Pretty
is that
sure.
all?
I'm pretty sure that's the main juice of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll begin. I got a good list here. Some of it's broad, some of it's specific. I'll start with the broad things. I thought the action was incredible.
Mm.
I think everything from the lightsaber fights to even just the chase between the corridors in Cloud City,
Mm.
and the space battles were awesome. The Battle of Hoth was fantastic.
Yeah,
Although
I
I
love
still
the
think
Battle of
the
Hoth.
AT-AT walkers still were a bit off
Clunky.
in their movements. I think Rogue One did a lot better in displaying their actual movements. I can't remember
Yeah,
what they're like in Return of the Jedi.
I like him being a bit robotic. I don't want him to be like smooth sailing kind of, which I know Rogue One
Yeah,
kind of did both by making it look visually better, but that's just what's it called?
yeah.
CGI, I guess. But I think if anything, I think that went down too easily. Like even when they got
Well,
they
okay.
exploded on impact when they kind of like just went down. I was like,
No, they got shot in the neck
I
by the
know, but like
speeders.
one of them went down and just when the other one got shot in the neck. So I was like, what? How
So
their armor?
I just want to add something because Mark and I were actually speaking about this earlier. In the Empire, it takes ropes and it takes like a blaster bolt to the neck to kill it, which is fine. But Luke makes a good note that the armor's impenetrable.
Mm.
But then in Rogue One, yeah, sure, Baze's rocket hits the neck and it doesn't do anything. But then the X-wing comes out of nowhere and shoots it twice and it breaks.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's inconsistent because also, why would you need to rope their legs up if you can just shoot them in the neck anyway?
That's it.
So I'm saying that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Maybe
if they're on
maybe
the ground.
X-wings have more powerful cannons than air speeders.
No, but I'm just trying to
Maybe.
say, like, why are they tying them up and putting them on the ground if you can, and then blow them up in the neck if you can't just do that in the air? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just if you're gonna go with consistency, it would make more sense if they got blown up in Rogue One through the neck, and then Empire they didn't because they
Yeah.
improved the technology.
All
But
right, I'll settle it now. Rogue One and Empire have a few years in between, and in those few years, they improve the AT-AT.
they didn't.
But I'm saying they did.
They should have. They should have
How do you know they didn't?
because they got easily destroyed. It looks like they were weaker than
Yeah,
the one.
maybe they just improved the armor.
Yeah, but in Rogue One, it looked like they were already impenetrable, like strong as the
Yeah,
AT
so they made it even stronger.
a rocket, and then in this one they just fall down, and it's like, oh no, it's all gone now. It just looks so like toy like in Empire. I think a
Yeah.
bit. I think that was because of just what they had to,
Yeah,
But
how
yeah.
they filmed it.
yeah, how they what they had to do.
I don't know if Cooper's going to mention this, but I can't believe we forgot to mention Lando.
Yeah, I was gonna mention him, but I don't think he was. I
Oh,
wasn't gonna.
I actually really liked his character in the film.
I wasn't gonna put him in the positives, to be honest.
Really, I actually really enjoyed his character.
Hmm. I'm gonna speak about that later, though, for a reason.
All
Okay.
right, well, that'll be interesting.
Mm.
All right. I'll continue on broad. Like what both of you said, the music I think was the best soundtrack of
Mm.
every single film.
No,
Sure, no, I know there's some good tracks in Revenge of the Sith and whatever, but huh?
some, all of them
Some.
are bangers. You can't say that only some. Oh,
Well, I don't look at the whole soundtrack and be like, oh, this is a masterpiece. I look at the specific tracks and go, oh, these are masterpiece.
There's
But
so
this
many
one, it's consistently good.
there's so many tracks. Like, I feel like Revenge of the Sith is very emotional tracks, and in this one, the tracks are like they pump you up. Like,
they're
Well,
more iconic. I'll give you
yeah,
that. Like
and
the
I just
Imperial March is universally known, right? And it was introduced, but but Revenge of the Sith has so many different songs that matches characters and matches the scene and matches the story. When I think this one just matches. No, because hear me out. Imperial March is iconic to Darth Vader, but it's technically
Cooper's reaction right now is how me and Jack react to when he says
it's
the sequels are good.
yeah, literally. It's literally just it's meant to be the Empire's theme though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like you're not looking further beyond the Imperial March. I just want to say Yoda's theme is one of the best in the entire franchise.
Nah, see,
If that does not give you goosebumps every time you listen to it, I don't know what's going on with you.
it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know what's going on with you.
The
Anyway,
asteroid field.
oh,
What was the
absolute
Yeah,
other
that
one?
banger.
scene.
We
That
brought
was
Banger.
up before.
that was good.
Yeah. Even the
I
Battle
think
of
it's
Hoth, the
called
music
the
at the Hoth
duel.
battle.
It's called the duel from Luke and Darth Vader on Bespin as well. That one's good.
I
Mm,
think, yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. I think there's only 3 to 4 that I actually genuinely like. But that's just
I will
opinion. Songs are
I will
just
get
it's just
sorry, you
opinion.
go.
It's just opinionated.
It is, yeah.
So
Yep.
you can't
Yeah,
really.
it's all opinion.
Mm.
I thought generally the plot was really, I felt it didn't really have a lot going on. It was very straightforward, but it was a very good continuation from A New Hope. It seemed like a logical thing. And it was engaging and interesting. And I thought that that's what you need for a sequel. I mean, I know we said this last week. They were just going to think about it as being a solo film for A New Hope, but I thought that in terms of being a sequel, the plot was meaningful. Had great character developments. I'll talk about that in a sec. And overall had a sense of anticipation for what's coming next.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
All right,
Mm.
I'm gonna get to some specifics now. I think one of my negatives last week was Luke. I didn't really like Luke in A New Hope. I thought he was a much improved character in this movie, and he's a positive for me. I
Deliberately.
really liked the hero's journey aspect. I feel like it was almost cut a bit abruptly in A New Hope, but this one he gets the full experience because he's kind of progressing as a Jedi and as a soldier, um, and as someone who is a valuable part of a meaningful cause. So I think that they did a really good job. Mark Hamill absolutely nails his portrayal of Luke in
Mm.
this movie. Another character, and we haven't mentioned it yet, and this was my first notice that I wrote down. Han Solo is the best I have ever seen him in Star Wars. He
Yeah.
was so good. I could not believe I forgot how good he was. Harrison Ford knocks it out of the park again.
Yeah.
I've got no more words that describe how much I enjoyed his performance in this movie. It was
Han,
phenomenal.
Han is literally my top 5 character.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
so underrated. I want
he
to
is
say
such an underrated
yeah,
character.
that's what I'm saying. They had so much they could have done with past episode 6 with Han and the trio because he does so much in the books. Like he's not
Yeah,
just a hotshot rebellion, pilot. He does so many stuff. He's
yeah,
basically like, well, obviously he's a smuggler, but he's like a bounty hunter, but for good. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
Hmm.
Like,
yeah,
he's so cool. And he's just a regular dude kind of thing who just
yeah.
has
Yeah.
a bit of hope and a bit of passion.
He
That's
got
it.
roped into helping the rebels.
That's
He's
it.
so good.
He's such a good character.
Mm.
Another good
Him and
character.
Leia have some good lines as well between
Oh,
the
yeah.
two of them.
They
Mm.
do. I didn't have Leia as a positive, but I thought that her character development was really good as well.
Yeah.
Because she was kind of just a rebel leader and a princess. Now she's kind of getting her hands dirty. I mean, she's always got her hands dirty, but
Mm.
she's kind of getting involved in the small little things. And
It shows where she's
um,
progressing later on as being.
oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I really liked Yoda. I forgot how funny he was, like Mark was saying. Um, I thoroughly enjoyed. I had some really good lines,
Mm.
some really good
Yeah.
one-liners. And we'll get to that later because I got I got a quote list. What else do I need? The asteroid field chase scene was outstanding, was so good. And also, the last thing, Yoda lifting the X-Wing out of the swamp was one of my favorite scenes ever in Star Wars.
Fair, fair.
Yeah.
And that's my
That's a
list.
good one.
I just want to also add quickly before we sort of switch up what we're going to talk about. But
Yeah.
I think the thing that a lot of people liked about this movie and how it became what it is today is because of the tonal shift from the first one. This one played it a lot more seriously and more
Mm.
like actions have consequences. When the first one felt like more of like a fun family flick kind of thing, this one felt more a bit. They tried to take it a bit more seriously. When
Mm.
you could maybe say the next one after this had a bit of both, especially with the Ewoks. Maybe a bit of family toy marketing for that, maybe that one. But yeah, but I think this one has a lot more of a they didn't try to joke around with it as much. Especially with the nightmare sequence
Yeah.
when Luke loses his head
Mm.
and all hope feels lost and he's hanging from the sky kind of. And it's just I don't know, I think it's just like they just tried to make it a different feel and aura from the
Yeah.
first,
And
not just
that's what I mean in like good story progression. I feel like just the way they portray the story, and it's something like obviously this came out in 1980, but this was something that we hadn't seen before. So just the way, and even with the title, The Empire Strikes Back, it's got a very
about them.
negative connotation with it.
Mm.
So it's kind of like it is that hopeless feeling. And one thing that I noticed, and I think I mentioned it to Mark, the rebels are pretty much non-existent in this film. They played such a big role in getting rid of the Death Star, but they're not in this movie. They're in it at the start for the Battle of Hoth, and then they disappear. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's a positive.
Yeah, I agree. It's good that we focus on the characters.
Yeah, focus on the characters, but it doesn't say that like, oh, the rebels are just dead. What the
Yeah.
characters are trying to do is trying to help the rebels. You know what I mean? It's like the rebels are doing almost the main mission, and these guys are doing the side mission, which is more um beneficial of their cause. You know what I mean? It's like the
Mm.
rebels sent them.
You did just cut out a little bit
Yeah, you
there.
cut out. Didn't get what you said.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you guys both froze on mine. I'll just repeat the last bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more that
Yeah.
the rebels were doing the main mission, and the side characters were actually adding to the deeper meaning of
You
what the
mean the
fight
main
is.
characters?
So like they're like the side characters almost, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
we're following them.
Yeah. I
That's
get
how
that.
you write. That's how you write proper, like changing from one thing to another.
Yeah. All right, Mark.
And if you think
Negatives.
about it, the movie really, like you said, the name gives it like a negative connotation sort of thing. There wasn't really that much success in the movie, was there? It was
Like
Well,
more
I
of
mean,
a
you think
fail for
about it.
them.
Han gets frozen in carbonite.
Yeah,
Luke
Luke
loses a
loses his
hand.
hand.
and knows that his
Um,
father's the evil Sith Lord.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly. So it
their
leads
fleet's
right
been
into the next
obliterated.
one, which is
Yeah.
good.
Negatives, Mark? Do you want to go through some negatives?
I can't think of that many really.
Do you want to piggyback off of what Jack and I
I
said?
will, yeah,
Okay.
if I agree with them, yes.
Okay.
You go first, Coop.
Yeah, I don't have that many. I was just gonna say, I felt like the middle of the movie was a bit slow. Like it started off really hot with the Battle of Hoth, and
Our
then kind of finished really good on Cloud City, but everything on Dagobah and like the Millennium Falcon kind of sitting within the Empire and being chased, I thought was a bit
yeah.
slow. Not I didn't not enjoy it, but just it was slow. The only other negative I have, there was a jump scare in the asteroid in the
The
worm, the space worm,
In the
that
Falcon.
made me feel things that I never want to feel again. So I'm putting that as a negative.
That
And
should be a
that's
positive
it.
if it did that.
No,
It did
no,
its job.
in a bad way. In a bad way. Oh God, it was that stupid flying creature that just
The
came out of
minor,
nowhere
whatever it's
that
called.
landed on the window. Oh.
Oh,
Anyway, that's it for me. So,
well,
Jack.
I honestly hate saying negatives about a movie I enjoy.
Yeah, do it. We're here to review it.
But I'm in that kind of situation again where it's like it's nitpicking and it's not this movie doesn't deserve to be nitpicked, but we have to have
Hmm.
some. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion, Lando's iconic, yes, but I think he was very and don't please don't say it's because of the acting and the writing because I don't think it is, but he was so annoying in this movie. He didn't do it for me. He was trying to be charming and stuff. I did not get the charming factor. I just got like a creepy leader dude, you know what I mean, from the city. I did not get charming Han Solo 2.0 kind of thing. When I thought in Han Solo, Lando was a bit more charming. That's my hot take. That's
Yeah, I disagree. I completely disagree with that.
fair
I
enough.
think I would have to disagree as well. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what
I think, and I know this is not what you were saying, but I'm gonna
Hmm.
say it anyway. I feel like the fact that he went back and forth multiple times between the Empire and his friends is showing his character.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I didn't say I
I know.
hated.
I know it's not what you said. I just wanted to mention it.
I understand why he's there, but it just kind of feels a lot of shoehorned in kind of thing, in my opinion. It was like they couldn't just land on a random planet. They couldn't go to a random planet and have no connections to who's there, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I've like how do I explain it? It's hard to explain. I didn't connect as much as I think that they wanted us to. You know what I mean? It didn't do it for me as much. But the
Okay.
surprise and everything on Cloud City is perfect, by the way. It's not Cloud City or anything. What else is a negative? Maybe some here and there, like C3PO being annoying. Like I know he's meant to be a funny character, but I kind of just get I no, I know I kind of get sick of his some of his one-liners. That's another thing.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Also, by the way, forgot to mention, just so Cooper doesn't have a fit here. Another problem is the carbonite scene. We forgot to mention this, by the way, and how
Mhm.
Hans when Leia goes, "I love you," and then Han goes, "I know," and then he just goes down.
Yeah.
That is iconic. Sorry, I had to say that because
Wasn't that? I'm not sure if I'm right here, but wasn't that improvised? That I know. Wasn't
I'm
he
not the
meant?
one to ask for that. I'm not
You're not the
sure.
one to ask. I'm pretty sure he was meant to say "I love you too" or something, but I think he just Harrison went
More
with
of a
"I
Han
know"
thing. Yeah,
and it
more of a
worked.
Han thing.
Yeah.
Um, Another negative, maybe this is also kind of what Cooper you were saying a bit in the positive, but also you're a bit um like I like the plot of this, but it was also very like I think they honestly in my opinion, it feels like they didn't really plan out the plot of this one as much as they did for like the first one and even some earlier films because
It's very basic.
yeah, it's like I don't know if it could have been deliberate, but it honestly relies on the acting and the character on those three characters being perfect. And I think if they weren't and any other character was there, it would be not considered a great film because there's really no it doesn't follow the simple structure of like beginning, middle, and end kind of. Because like if when you're watching it, you don't really know when the middle climax bit is. Like I think it would probably like is the climax when, but that's near the end when he gets frozen and like when he,
Maybe it's when Luke goes into that cave.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, where would you put the
I
like?
feel like actually I don't know if I'd call it a negative, but that's something I could mention is I feel like that cave bit when he fights against Darth Vader, I feel like that didn't have much meaning. Like I feel like it could have.
Oh,
No,
I
that's
feel it had. No, let me rephrase it. It
that's a
had
worse take
meaning.
than Jack's.
yeah, that's much worse.
No, I feel like it didn't have as much of an important. Like it didn't feel like
What?
it did much.
You
Really?
guys are throwing my heart
Yeah.
around here. What the heck's happening?
That set up everything though. That like
Oh
almost
my
like gives him
God.
his own face. It kind of shows one, his dad's blood relative,
Yeah, there's
and
the
And that's the path
symbolism.
he's heading down.
and two, that's what is could be when he gets turned to the dark side.
No, you guys are
Oh
taking what I said completely out of
God.
context. I know there's a lot of symbolism But in terms of a movie, I don't feel like it had much impact.
But you said it has symbolism,
Yeah,
said-
but like
oh.
that's as a greater story thing. Like
Mark.
it
No,
didn't even.
okay.
It's not even really the reason that Luke went to save his friends. That's because he wanted to save his friends.
I'm sorry. This episode has two of the worst takes I've ever heard in my life.
What I feel like is it's not
Willikers.
something that sticks with you as a main part of the movie.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't think it. No, but to be fair,
oh.
meant to be a main thing of the movie. It was meant to is a main thing for Luke. It was all about Luke that bit, not for the entire movie. You know what I
I
mean?
guess.
Really? Okay, hang on. Let me just paint a picture quickly. If you're watching that in the cinemas and you see Darth Vader walk out of the cave after you've just seen him on the ship, what are you thinking? Holy crap, how is he able to travel to the cave? Oh my God, he's right. They're going to fight. And you're
That's
saying it's not. Oh.
that's not
Sorry,
much of a picture you painted there, buddy.
I painted
Ooh.
a picture of being in the cinemas in 1980 and watching it.
Oh, this is
And
getting awesome.
man, I'm
I
You know
think-
rolling
what?
now.
I think I'm gonna stand by my point, but I just don't think I can express it very well.
Okay, that's fine. But
Yeah.
can I just go back to Jack's point quickly about C3PO? Nah.
Oh,
You're saying he's
Cooper just wants
annoying?
to.
You're saying
He
he's
wants.
annoying?
Yeah, but I'm not the only one that thinks he's annoying. I've never been
He
an
was okay. Right,
I've
you
never
go.
been
Yep.
an avid fan of him. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I think he's. I love Anthony Daniels.
Yeah, Anthony Daniels. Yeah.
I love him. I love the character design of him. I just think, yeah, I love R2. R2 is just a superior droid in my opinion. I don't need actual words to enjoy a character. That's all I'm saying. R2 is speaks so much without speaking at all, if you know what I mean. He has more of a character, I reckon, and humor without speaking. That's yes.
C3PO has one of my all-time favorite lines in Star Wars, and it's not in this movie, it's in Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I'm going back to that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Poe says, no, is it Poe? Yeah. Poe says,
Oh,
like, are you all right to Rey and to Finn? And C3PO's in the back. He's like, you didn't mention my name, sir, but I'm quite all right.
yes, that line was funny. Do that, but I think in these movies he's. I don't know
I
how.
think he's a valuable part of the team.
No, I think he's just. I think he's a thing that they have to always attend. He can't be left alone. He can't do anything himself.
He has some great quotes in this movie. I'm just thinking ahead. He has some great quotes.
I don't
Yeah,
care
like
about what-
Chewbacca, turn me around.
Yeah,
Turn
Chewbacca is
around.
literally
What's
having
happening?
to babysit C3PO. It sucks. I don't like that.
Oh,
I think now I'm sure you guys are going to react the exact same way you did before,
God.
but I think I've got a comparison with the cave scene that I thought of. In terms of
No, Mark
making a
froze.
movie, not what it
Start again.
represents. Okay,
Start
Start
again.
again.
let me say it again.
Yeah.
I have a scene that I think I can compare to the cave scene in terms of how the movie's made, not what it represents.
Mhm.
And that is the death of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. Because Luke like just highly reacts to it.
Oh, wait,
No,
no.
'cause he
What?
jumped to see his own face. That's he
Huh?
was.
No, to his uncle and auntie, he highly reacts to them, right? Do you agree with
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I do agree with
Yes.
that.
You agree with that? Okay. Now
Yes.
with the cave scene, he has yes a facial response as he did in A New Hope, but I feel like it doesn't. What? How does it? I know symbolically again how it affects him, but what in terms of the movie does it do to make him want to continue with what he's doing?
Okay, I'm gonna rebut quickly here.
Yeah,
So
rebut it.
I
Well,
feel
please,
like
because I feel like I feel like I need my mind changed by how you guys are reacting. So try and
okay,
change
all
it.
right. So in A New Hope, when he sees his parents, oh no, his aunt and uncle, like literally burned alive, he doesn't express any facial expression that
But he
expresses
does.
concern.
Is grief shocking? How do you
Anyway,
explain?
okay, fine. Yep, all right, sure. That is completely different to what's happening
He's
in the cave.
shocked.
Shock.
He's not shocked in the sense that he's seeing death.
He's almost
He's
confused.
shocked, he's confused, and he's in shock because sorry, the shock isn't really more of seeing like someone be dead. It's more of like it's fear. It's
He doesn't.
it's not the fear of like it's the fear he could die. It's the fear of Darth Vader, who he saw strike down his
Are you
master.
talking about the cave scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking
It's the
about the other
fear of
one.
seeing this massive,
Yeah,
big.
he's afraid of becoming what he's trying to fight against.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know
But
that.
I just don't think that that's very, I don't think it's comparative
It's not the same.
to the aunt
Mm.
and uncle scene or Uncle
But
Owen
I'm
and
talking
Aunt
about
Beru.
how, in terms of the filmmaking.
Yeah, but I think his character is he doesn't visibly cry. He doesn't visibly when he's scared or worried or unsure. He goes into a shock where he freezes. That's a normal response in real life too.
The only exception to that is when he learns Vader's his father, when he has a
Yeah,
full-on
that's
hissy fit.
that's because that's
Look like
because
hissy fit.
Act One he's lost his arm, so he's probably in a lot of pain. Two, he also didn't want to believe it in that because well, obviously he doesn't see it, and three, because of the cave scene beforehand, he's probably like, crap, this might actually be like I am becoming my father kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Mm.
I think I think it's not a filmmaking thing. I think it's just kind of how he responds to that kind of situations. You know what I mean?
And also on top of that, Yoda did mention you won't need your weapons. So
Yeah.
he was probably expecting there's a scene in Rebels actually, similar, where Ezra goes into the Jedi Temple and watches the Inquisitor kill Kanan. It was a vision, obviously. But from memory, I don't think he went in with his light. He didn't have a lightsaber, but just in terms of the symbolism in comparison to even A New Hope, where Yoda was maybe expecting Luke to be killed by Vader to fully embrace being that Jedi, like what Obi-Wan was, being able to be like, I see that I can't do anything about it, but if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. It's just that duality, I guess.
Mm. The duality.
Maybe. This is my thinking. I'm not. I need to stop viewing the cave scene as a jumping point and look at it as a bridge because I like your actually enjoyed your thing that you said about when he is like when his arm's been cut off and he's fighting Vader and then he has that response.
Mm.
So if you look at it, cave is the start of the bridge and that's the end of the bridge. I like that better.
Yep, that's good.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that better
I'll
because
accept
I've
that.
always thought of it as like it should motivate him to go and do something, but that's what I didn't feel really.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think the main criticism, without the nitpicks of the characters and stuff, is that the plot doesn't really have a definitive, obviously has a beginning and an end, but the middle portion almost just blends together. Like, you know how there's like meant to be like a rising action and like a falling resolution thing. It's all
Yeah.
it's continuous. So positive, negative, I don't know.
Middle.
Yeah, it's kind of middle. I like it, but also I think it's kind of lazy. So I don't know
Yeah.
because I think it worked well.
Think
It wouldn't work
think
well.
of it as the climax of the trilogy.
Yeah, it's like the whole movie is the climax, kind of.
Yeah.
Good way of putting it. Because the beginning's at New Hope. Well, it's kind of like what I guess you can say about the new Spider-Man films. Tom Holland's Spider-Man doesn't really become Spider-Man until No Way Home when he loses his spoiler auntie. So it's kind of like that's his definitive point, I guess you could say. I haven't watched.
Cabin of it.
But yeah, so I guess if you look at it like that, Mark, you're maybe onto something there. The beginning is a New Hope, obviously a trilogy, but in terms of like filmmaking point of view, the climax was blowing up the Death Star, but technically the bad guys
In
still,
that film, yes. But
yeah,
if
technically the
we
bad guys.
consider that as the beginning and then there's another Death Star, so really that's only the beginning.
Yeah, I was gonna say technically you're right because the bad guys still didn't. They lost, but they're still alive, and they've still got
It's
their
it's that saying you may have won the battle, but you haven't won the war.
yeah. And this middle bit is where the villains are kind of winning this war, and then the end is boom, Luke comes in a might of fury, to save the day, basically, kind of thing. So yeah, maybe it was intentional. Good job, Mark.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Now we're looking at scores. So,
Yeah. I'm ready this time.
Mark, what are you giving The Empire Strikes Back?
9.5.
Damn. All right. Easily your highest score.
Yeah.
Jack,
All I need to know is what I give Revenge.
you have Revenge at 9.8.
Oh my
1.6.
goodness.
Holy crumpets.
Holy
Now I
crumpet.
feel like mine was too low.
Oh, I'm giving it a 9.7
Oh wow, we're really up there.
because, and I want to take back a comment I said earlier in the series that Rogue One was my favorite film.
He's saying this one is
Empire. This
Yeah,
was
good.
superior.
That's good.
good.
Yeah.
This
Wow.
one's actually like, I think
Don't consider our three ranks like with each other because we're ranking them with our other ranks of the movies.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm doing individual.
That's
I'm
what I
just-
mean.
Yeah, like the only
Because the scale's a little different. If Jack gives it a 9.7 and I give it a 9.5, you got to consider the other movies we ranked.
yeah, the thing is, the only reason why I want to know the Revenge one is because this one in my head is still just behind it. So I didn't want to rank it higher than Revenge. That wouldn't make sense for my. But yeah, it's definitely. That's why I did it. What did I give it? 9.6?
9.6, yeah.
Yeah, it's so close to Revenge because if I could, I would have them both at number one together. Because this one, without this one, Revenge wouldn't be a thing. Simple as that. And
Pretty much.
Revenge kind of makes this film better, and Empire makes Revenge better, in my opinion. They both kind of like have the major characters of Darth and Anakin like come together,
Mm.
Yeah.
which I really like.
Before we move on to some quotes, Jack, you had a couple of fun facts that you wanted to share?
I'll say three. I'll say three
Okay.
of them. I'll leave the good ones to last. So the first one is the suit that Bosk was wearing was actually a doctor's outfit, like
Okay.
these tubes and stuff and the stuff in the middle. So I was like, well, cool, but
Is that the white
Nice.
one?
nah, that's the yellow.
Yeah, the yellow one.
Ah, okay. I need
That
to.
became iconic to Bosk. Also, side note, oh, why have we got no Bosk action recently? Where's my man?
Wasn't he rumored to appear in Book of Boba Fett like every episode?
I love him. He's like one of the greatest bounty hunters in the galaxy. We haven't even seen him since.
One of the
I've never
best
been a-
characters in Star Wars Battlefront.
I've never been the biggest of fans of Bosk. That's a
Damn.
thumbnail.
Mark's got so many controversial opinions today.
I didn't think that was controversial.
How have you
Jeez.
never been the biggest fan of Bosk?
I think
Because I've
Bosk
only
is
seen him for
universally
like 2
loved.
seconds.
Yeah, but you
Man.
said about Boba Fett before
Yeah,
you
I've seen Boba Fett for more than 2 seconds.
in the movies.
Yeah. Yes, in the movies.
Nah. Sorry, I'm moving on. Don't get me started. Okay,
The other two. The other two facts.
the next one is so uncivilized. Luke actually doesn't use his blaster at all. He doesn't shoot it in its entirety of the movie, even though he carries it throughout the whole Cloud City scene before getting to Darth, and he's got
That's-
it locked and loaded. He's peeking around corners like it's Rainbow Six Siege. He does not fire the blaster, even though
That's
Boba Fett
crazy.
wants to
That's
stop.
like getting a win on like a battle royale game without killing anyone.
That's great. That's unreal. This one's the best positive ever. The only time Tatooine doesn't show up in the 6 Skywalker saga films.
Is that true?
Hang on, don't you mean 9?
I didn't know that.
No, because you see it in 9, and you see it in. Do you see it in 7 and 8 and
No.
9?
That is actually a great
no.
fact, Jack.
You do see it in 9. So I'm saying in the first 6, this is the only one that you don't see it in. So yeah, excluding sequels.
Never thought of it before.
Yeah, how cool is that
Yeah,
though?
that
the
is really
awesome Skywalker saga. This is the only one you don't see Tatooine. Yes. Sorry, I love
I've seen
Tatooine.
too much of it.
I'm sick of desert. I'm sick of sand.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
That's my facts.
Very good.
Nice.
I enjoyed them all.
They were great. I love
All
that
right.
last one. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one. I didn't because you don't really think about it.
No, you don't.
All right, time for some quotes.
What?
Quotes.
Some of them I don't really remember who said them, so you're gonna have to help me. This one I do remember, and I'm not gonna do I'll do impressions where I feel it's necessary. Don't get all mushy on me. Don't get all mushy on me. Goodbye, princess. I cannot remember who says this one. Might be Han. Then I'll see you in hell.
Yes, that's that
Yep.
one.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I was speaking to Mark about this. Hell, there's a hell in Star Wars.
Every time I hear that line, I feel weird because does that mean what does that mean?
That's it. I don't know.
Do they
Oh,
believe in hell? And if so, do they believe in heaven?
I just remember
What?
the next
Okay.
one of the ones that I was gonna actually mention that like from the beginning.
Mm.
Why did they have to make Han? I mean, Leia and Luke kiss? Why was
Yeah,
that?
Yeah.
I almost mentioned that as well.
Why was that needed? That was even if you weren't initially planning them being related, which I think it was always planned. It's so unnecessary. I know Leia was trying to prove a point to Han to be a better person because it gets you the girl kind of thing. Why?
No, I
Even kiss
disagree. If
after
they the brother sister thing was horrible, but if you take that out of it, she's just trying to annoy Han and make him jealous.
yeah,
So
or kiss him on the cheek. It was full blown on the lips.
that's the point. It was meant to annoy Han the most.
Yeah, it sucks. I hate it. Anyway, next.
Good point.
But that whole scene is just horrible in general because of we all know why.
Here's a C-3PO quote. R2 has been known to make mistakes from time to time. I don't remember what that was in the context of,
It
though.
was the odds of Luke surviving, and he was trying to make Leia feel a bit better.
Ah, right. Han quote. And I thought they smelled bad from the outside.
How cool was it that he got to use a lightsaber?
Yeah, that was
Yeah. You rarely see
actually a great
non-Force
character.
users wield lightsabers anymore. It's awesome to see it.
Boba Fett in the comics got to wield one.
Did he? Okay.
Imagine Chewie using one. That would be awesome.
I know Cad Bane got to have one, which was cool.
Yep. Yep.
And Finn, I mean, do you
Mm.
consider him? I'd say he's anyway.
You know what? I thought that was actually good because I thought they were going to make him like Force sensitive or
That would
something.
have been a cool story. Stormtrooper to
Yeah, a
Jedi.
stormtrooper becoming Jedi. That would have been awesome. But
Yeah.
that's for the sequels.
Yeah. Leia quote. I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Hell, laser.
So many
And then-
roasts.
And then another Leia quote, which is probably the most iconic Leia quote you can have. You stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf-herder.
I love that one.
And then Han's response is, who's scruffy-looking?
I love their chemistry.
Amazing.
It's so good.
Yeah. Another Han quote. Laugh it up, fuzzball.
That's all
Chewie.
the same scene, basically.
Yeah, it's all from the
Um,
same thing. Yeah.
Vader. You have failed me for the last time.
Admiral.
I don't think he says Admiral on the end of it, but
I thought he
I
did.
think it,
Or is
maybe
that?
maybe he says it twice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. Han, shut him up or shut him down.
Yeah, exactly.
Another Han quote. Oh my God. Oh yeah, watch this.
What?
Hyperdrive. Hyperdrive.
Fails.
Yeah. Never told me the odds.
Mm.
Fantastic dialogue between Luke and Yoda. I'm not afraid. You will be.
Yeah, that was so evil by Yoda, by the way.
Yeah.
Savage.
Yoda quote the most. Who wants to do the?
I
Mark, do you wanna
missed the
do
last
iconic?
one. Oh, what was it?
I said, Luke says, "I'm not afraid," and Yoda says, "You will be."
Oh, that's yes.
But do you want to do your Yoda impression for his most iconic one?
Which one?
The most
Oh.
iconic Yoda quote ever.
You know it. You know, Mark.
Oh, I think I know which one you mean.
Yeah.
No, I do not. There is no try.
Yeah, good. That's really good. That was really good.
Thank you very much.
Take that with
He'll-
life.
Huh?
Hmm?
Take that quote with life.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, take it with life. Yeah.
He also says size matters not, which is cool.
Awesome.
And another good quote Yoda says, "My ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is."
Well, that was a good impression.
Oh, I didn't think it was that good at all, but thank you. Another fantastic C-3PO quote. He says, "Surrender is a perfectly acceptable alternative."
Yeah, to the Empire of all people.
Yeah. Lando's first quote. Hello, what do we have here? Another C-3PO quote. Nice to see a familiar face. How rude. when the other protocol droid walks out on him.
Oh
It's
yeah.
funny. That boy is our last hope. No, there is another. Actually, I've got a question about that later.
No.
Another C-3PO quote. I must tell the others, oh no, I've been shot.
That was when he was in the cell, prison
Yeah.
cell.
I love how he says, oh no, I've been shot.
That's good. I'll give you that.
Lando, this deal is getting worse all the time.
Typical.
I love you. I know it's pretty standard. Um, Vader has 4 successive quotes on my list. But you are not a Jedi yet. And then he says, all too easy. And then he says, impressive, most impressive.
Most impressive.
And then he says, no, I am your father.
Oh,
And I couldn't
feel
be
like you
bothered to
missed
write
one as
Luke's
well.
no. And then here's one you can kind of miss. It's the 3PO quote. He says, I'm standing here in pieces and you're having delusions of grandeur. I think that's pretty funny.
C-3PO.
He's great. Anyway, that brings my list to an end.
There was a Darth Vader line I was thinking of, and I was waiting for you to say it, and you didn't, and now I can't remember what it was.
Well, if you
Ah,
think of it later, bring it up.
yeah.
Huh?
If you think of it later, bring it up. Like you always. Classic Mark.
Yeah, classic one. All right, guess what it's time for?
Who has more
screen
time?
time? Love that.
So bad at these now. I used to be so
I
good.
know. I know.
Isn't it in the
All right.
drawer still?
I have no idea.
Or am I
I need
one
to
in
go.
front of
I'll
Jack?
check. I'll check after this one.
Or at the end, we go back and have a collective count.
Yeah. All right. I've got 8 this time,
8.
and these are pretty difficult. These are pretty difficult.
How many characters are there?
Enough. They're more than A New Hope. I'll say that.
Really?
Who has more screen time? Leia or Han? Tricky. You got to
Okay,
think about when Han was in the movie,
Yeah, I've
when
got my-
Leia was in the movie.
You know what the worst part of this is? They're together almost the whole movie, but at the start it's just Han when he goes
Yep.
for Luke, and at the end it's just Leia when Han's been frozen.
Yeah,
That's
but I
it.
think the Hoth one's a bit more, so I'm gonna go Han.
I'll tell you that the difference is under a minute.
Jeez. Well,
Han.
Jack, you said Han, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll say Leia.
Han has 23 minutes and 30 seconds of screen time. Leia has 22 minutes
Oh no!
and 45 seconds.
Come on,
No!
bringing it back, bringing it back.
I've already lost now.
Nah. I mean, there's so many characters. I thought there was only gonna be like
No.
few.
Who has more screen time? Obi-Wan Kenobi or Lobot?
Obi-Wan. Does it
Really?
include his voice or only his visions?
Wait, which one was Lobot again? Was
When
he?
he's on screen. The one with the
Oh,
weird
okay. Well, then I'm going to
finger
say
around his
Lobot
face.
instead.
Uh,
Lobot.
wait, is he the Is he Lando?
Lando's assistant guy.
Ah. Well, damn, everyone was only a ghost in this one though, so only on Dagobah. Showed up.
Hoth.
Yeah, Lobot was in there, I think, but at a similar time. I'm gonna go Lobot.
Both
Because-
Lobot.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan has 1 minute. Lobot, 1 minute and 15 seconds. Both correct.
Let's go.
Who
Let's
has
go.
more screen time? C-3PO or Chewbacca?
Surely Chewie.
I'm going C-3PO to be different.
Oh, okay. I've got to stop this. You got to say it at the same time from
Yeah.
now on.
Same time. Come on.
C-3PO has 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Chewbacca, 16 minutes and 30
Oh, no.
seconds.
Yeah, I thought he was in there for a bit.
Yeah. All right. You got 5 seconds, and I'm going to count you down.
5.
And you both got to say it on after 1.
Do
So
8
1 and then
seconds.
Yeah, give me 10 at least. I got to think
I'll
about
give you
this.
I'll give you 8.
Yeah,
Who
8.
has more screen time? Boba Fett or Admiral Piet? 8, 7,
What's Piet?
6, 5. He's one of the admirals.
Okay.
I already have my
4,
answer.
3, 2, 1.
Admiral
It-
Piet.
Boba
Who-
has 1 minute
who-
45. Jack said Boba. And Piet has 2 minutes 15.
Yes.
I
Mark's
forgot
back on the
which
board.
actor it was. Damn.
I think I'm one behind Jack currently.
Yep. 3-2. All right. Who has more screen time? Yoda or Vader? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Vader.
What'd you say, Jack?
Vader.
Yoda has 12 minutes 30. Vader 13 minutes 15.
Yes. Come on.
Both correct. Who has more screen time? R2D2 or Lando? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
R2.
Lando. Who'd Jack say?
Ooh,
R2. Surely.
R2 has 11 minutes 15 seconds. Lando 20. No, I'm joking. 9 minutes 15.
Oh,
I'm like, there's no way R2 was in it for like the entirety.
Yeah. All right. Who has more screen time? Yoda or R2D2? Yes, I've already
R2D2.
said both, but
I couldn't. I remember it. I think I've got it. I think I've got it.
okay,
ready.
so who is it?
R2.
Yoda.
Yoda 12 minutes 30, R2 11:15.
Oh.
Let's go.
I said R2 because he's there. He's on Dagobah the whole time, and he's in other
Yeah.
parts.
Also, like in it throughout, it's just because he doesn't leave. Yeah. You just don't
Dagobah.
expect. Yeah, you just don't expect it. Yeah.
Last one, not that it'll make a difference, but it'll
Jack's already won. Good
Jack
job, Jack.
can go 7 for 8 if he gets this.
Ooh.
Who has more screen time? Wedge Antilles or Emperor Palpatine?
Wedge Antilles.
Yeah.
Who'd you say, Jack?
Wedge.
Wedge has 30 seconds, Palpatine 1 minute.
No.
Oh, damn.
I guess he
All
was
right.
talking to him for a while on that telephone
Yeah.
thing.
So Jack wins 6-3.
Good job, Jack.
Thanks, Mark.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
So I need to kind of count the scores now. So let me do that quickly. Hang on. I'll go through it really quick.
Written them down.
So Jack's won, Mark won, Jack won, Jack 2, Mark 1. Oh
I
crap.
think I'm counting wrong. Never
Jack
mind.
2, Mark 2. Jack 3, Mark 2. I give up.
Oh, what?
I think I skipped a few, but Jack was winning.
Yeah, Jack's in
3-2.
front anyway, I'm pretty sure.
I think by like
Last week was either a draw. Yeah, I think last week made it a draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the week before you won, and then I think you won Revenge, which I was a bit.
I'll do a count. I'll do a count before we get to the next episode for Return of the Jedi.
Previous podcasts, and then you can see the winners.
Yeah, that's it. If you want to go find out who won previously, just go listen to the podcast.
Picture. Oh, it's just his leg and Luke.
All right. I'm going to finish with some questions as I normally do. First one. What's the best new planet/city they introduced in this movie? I'll start if you want.
Yeah,
I think no, I'll go first. I think I'll say Hoth, but I also
Yep.
really like Cloud City and Bespin.
Yeah. Cloud City.
I was going to say Cloud City as well.
There wasn't many places if you think about it.
No, there's
Really?
only 3.
Dagobah.
This one might have a little bit of elaboration, and I kind of didn't think about it before I was going to ask it. Where do you reckon the rebels were during this movie?
In space.
Just chilling there, or
Yeah.
were they doing something? Okay.
Well, let's think about it. The movie is only like 1 to 2 days worth of time, and at the end they're all in space in a big convoy. So
I reckon they're still searching.
Yeah, they're searching for somewhere to go.
Hiding spot.
Okay.
They got blew up on Hoth.
Here's an interesting question. Is Han force sensitive?
No.
No?
No.
What about all the times he says, I've got a bad feeling about this?
He just has a bad feeling. He can read a situation.
He's a star pilot. He knows when it's bad.
Yeah.
All right.
He's dealt with trouble all his life.
I think there might be a sliver, but not like fully.
We should just rename this segment to Cooper Asks if
Asking if
non-force
every
sensitive
character-
characters are
Yeah.
force sensitive.
I think I've asked. Yeah.
You've asked about Padme, and
Yeah.
I think there was another one as well.
I asked about
It was last
Someone
week.
in Solo. Yeah, was it
Or
last week?
no, it would have been. Was
Oh,
it
Jyn Erso, I think you asked.
or
Oh,
did
her mum.
yeah the
Yeah,
mum?
Lyra Urso. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. Which is better, Yoda's theme or Imperial March?
very much.
I can't really, I don't know what Yoda's theme is, so I have to say
The
Imperial
one.
Mark.
Okay, all right. I take Yoda's theme over any day. Sorry.
I can't remember what it is, unfortunately.
Wow. All right. What are your thoughts on carbon freezing? Mark and I had a bit of discussion about this before. Um,
Okay,
as
here's
like
what I
a
had to say. This is what I
okay.
said to Cooper. In the movie, they mention how it's not designed for people.
Mm.
Obviously, it's not designed to freeze people, it's designed to freeze materials or whatever.
Mhm.
Does that make it really sick of Din Djarin to have one in his ship that he
No,
uses?
I've got a counterpoint because the
What?
technology has evolved.
I was thinking that, but is that not even more sick that they've improved something to freeze people?
Yeah, but they need a way to like make like I think it's real. I like carbon freezing because it gives
As
you
a
a way.
storytelling thing, but if you think in the world of Star Wars,
It's much worse.
this is much worse, but it's still bad.
I think because you can't carry like imagine Din trying to capture all these bounties at once. You won't have them all on the back just chilling. You have to have a way to, or you just lock them
Yeah,
up.
that's what I'm saying. It's a convenient storytelling thing.
I can just imagine all of Dan's bounties just
When did you get?
casually sitting and chatting to each
When
other.
did you get Cloud Planet? What did
They're
you
in a
get?
prison cell holding cell on the Razor Crest.
I think. Well, now let's see another bad thing
Oh
about the
God,
freezing and the ship being blown up. You can't have carbon freeze anymore. Where's he going to store anyone?
that's
Yeah,
it.
he's
Like when he
not.
goes back to bounty hunting, what is he going to do? Put him in
He's
the
He's
got a
not.
bit of he's got a bit of an Obi-Wan on Camino situation where if
yeah.
it was going to bring back Jango Fett, it was only a one person ship.
He's gonna have Grogu sitting on his lap, and the other guy's gonna be in the cockpit going,
Yeah, head's just sticking out.
Yeah. Oh my, yes, no.
All right.
But that's don't worry.
All right. My last question,
Inhumane.
because this is what we're doing every week now. What's one scene you would change?
I haven't thought
Oh,
about
I
this.
forgot about this.
Yeah.
Do you want me to
Uh,
go? And I feel like you might agree with me.
mhm.
Change the kissing scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could have done it. Like I said, you could have done a multitude of ways to give that impression of anything else.
Yeah.
Anything.
I haven't really thought about like another sort of scene that might be worth changing because it's a pretty good movie.
Pretty good.
No, I
Maybe
mean it's a 9.6 movie, 9.7 movie.
you could add a extra scene with the bounty hunters.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I completely
You should
forgot
be
there's a
Cooper.
scene of Yoda and Obi-Wan in this movie where the lighting is phenomenal. It's as Luke's taking off in the X-Wing
Oh
and
yeah.
they say, "Oh, that boy's our last hope." No, there is another. And his face is like clouded in red.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh,
I must have honestly missed that scene when I rewatched it because although this sounds silly, but I thought Obi-Wan's ghost was only on Hoth in this movie.
No,
Because I was thinking when he's on Dagobah that's in the last one, in episode 6.
no. You're getting a
he
bit.
is there, but not. He is in this
Because
movie as well.
I can't say I couldn't say I remembered him being in Empire Strikes Back at Dagobah, and I must have just missed that scene when I
Yeah,
rewatched it.
yeah.
That's a good.
Sorry, I keep going. I feel like there was a very big lack of stormtroopers in this movie.
Yeah, but I think that's almost a positive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
I
got
mean there was no need for them really.
no, exactly.
On Bespin there was, which there
Yeah,
were, and that's about it.
and Hoth.
yeah.
I mean the snow troopers are sick. They're
Yeah.
awesome.
My one would probably. This is just something I want to see. It wouldn't make sense for the story because it's already good, but I want to see a shot at least or a couple scenes where you see Boba Fett hunting Han, but I wanted to see like maybe like a Boba Fett and Bosk or Boba Fett and Dengar, like he's my bounty, don't get in my way kind of thing.
Oh, that would have been cool.
A bit of
Yeah, that
buck,
would have been cool.
and then Boba takes him out or like does a strategy that like gets him off the trail and then he goes for Han. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been
It doesn't
awesome.
show what the others do. They're just chilling.
I
That's it.
reckon they could have just made Boba Fett a bit more like
Big.
involved in the story and as a character. That
Have
would
him
have been
like
cool.
throughout the like sort of have him planted at the start of the movie and have him like tracking tracking him, and then
Kind of like in 6
yeah,
when he's in Jabba's palace and he's watching.
when he's trying to observe. Yeah, he is. Yeah, that'll be good too. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark, do you have a scene or no? Not
Well, that's
really.
what I'm saying. I think just Boba Fett, they could have like
Okay.
had maybe more speaking. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they have him on the cover of stuff. They promoted
Yeah, like this poster here.
yeah, he went around to premieres and stuff with the costume and everything. So like he wasn't really involved that much considering.
Hmm.
He's in almost Return more and he dies in that. So it's like, you know.
Yeah. Well, lucky you got his own show.
I don't think there's much else I would switch up. I think it was a damn good movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're kind of reaching the point now where our agreement on the quality of films is about to become very varied. I mean,
but yeah,
I hold Return in very high regards. Anyway, we'll get into it
I do as
next
well.
week.
I do aside from some Ewok stuff. That's a tease.
Okay.
I've always been fine with the Ewoks.
You know what? I'm not going to say the thing because I'm going to save it for next week. But there was an original thing. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It wasn't meant to be Ewoks though. It was meant to be something else. They were meant to be a different people.
Didn't
Okay.
know.
Didn't
That'll
know
be
that
for
either.
next week, I suppose.
Mm.
All right, that'll do us. Great discussion again, fellas. I always
Yeah.
appreciate when we're able to get together and do this. And I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I've definitely enjoyed getting to watch Star Wars again because you just find you don't really find time during the weeks to be able to do it, but really takes you back and it reminds you why you love Star Wars and why we're doing this. So
And I
Yep.
think I'm very happy now that Cooper says one of the originals is now his favorite.
well, okay, all right.
I mean,
sure.
there's nothing wrong with Rogue One being a favorite, but it's just the originals. So
They hit different.
yeah,
Keep a lookout on YouTube for our polls. We pop one up there every week. Sam's Instagram.
in fact,
We'll
this
post
week
there.
was a quiz.
Oh, yeah, this week was a quiz, and
Pretty hard, actually.
congratulations to those who got
That
it
was a
right.
difficult one, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, keep an eye out and stay tuned for next week. Revenge of the Jedi. Ooh,
Revenge of the Jedi.
yeah, the original title.
Yep.
Was it really? I didn't know that.
It was. Yeah, it was. I think it only changed a couple weeks before release.
Yeah, it was like promoted on everything as Revenge of the Jedi.
Yeah, but
Nice.
revenge is not the Jedi way. Remember?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it just Return of the Jedi just sounds better.
Yeah,
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Alright.
that's next week. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you
see you
guys
then.
next week.
There you go.
See you
Bye.
later. May the Force be with you.